Hello and welcome to the Positive Behavior Instructional Supports, or PBIS, overview. A 101 review for those of us that need a quick reminder of what PBIS is, and a quick overview of what we're doing here at Cascade for our School of Pride as we end Year 1 and move into Year 2. This video is designed to be something that staff members can go back and review, and to help keep us all on the same page in terms of what it is that we're trying to do. I also apologize for any feedback that you're getting as a result of the video. So the days of punitive discipline in classrooms, as I'm sure you're all aware as teachers, are kind of at an end. The teacher, as you can see here in the cartoon, one false move and I'll kill you. It doesn't really quite work like that anymore. And we know that from our social justice lens, when we as schools don't engage our students here, then there's a bunch of other groups that are looking to take advantage of that. So we really have a moral responsibility to make sure we're doing everything we can to prepare kids for their futures. I also know that as a teacher, you always experience the student where, I don't know why, but everything I try to do to stop problem behaviors seems to elicit the response that we least want. You can see this kiddo here is smiling about, getting stuck here to the glue. So PBIS is designed to try to attempt to answer to those political cartoons. It's a broad range of systemic, individualized strategies for achieving important social and learning outcomes while preventing problem behavior with all students. Okay? PBIS is not a specific program that we do like in room 211 or 212, which is Achieve for our special education students. PBIS is not a curriculum or a general approach, or a something that you can purchase, right, that will solve all of the world's problems. It's rather a general approach to preventing problem behavior and for teaching expectations to students while in school. And it's not limited to any particular group of students. It's designed to be for all students, including those students that are in your classrooms that demonstrate zero discipline or problematic behavior. It's still important for us to teach and engage with them in terms of the expectations that we want to see. And this is not new. This is rather based on a long history of behavioral practices and effective instructional design strategies. One of the things that we know that the science of behavior has taught us is that students aren't born with bad behaviors, that they're taught, like any skill. And one of the things that I like to make an analogy to is riding a bicycle. You don't automatically know how to ride a bicycle. But as you're learning, one of the things we don't want to do with students who are learning to ride a bicycle is make the learning about aversive consequences, right? I can't imagine helping a young person ride a bike and then yelling at them every time that they fall down, or saying, hey, if you fall down one more time, I'm taking your bike away. Instead, it's about teaching them how to get that skill. And the skill here is behavior. And we want to do so in a way that is taught directly, and that receives positive feedback. Good job, your balance is getting there, maybe slightly shift here. Those types of things is really what we're trying to do. PBIS is school-wide, but it's also in your classrooms. And each of you have a system and a way in your classrooms that you manage your class, right, as part of classroom management strategies. Well, PBIS looks at that in the classroom setting, but it also looks at it from a school-wide lens. And these 6 steps here kind of help guide schools in that school-wide implementation. The first thing is to identify a common purpose and approach to discipline, and to define a clear set of positive expectations and behaviors. And we've done that here at Cascade through our School of Pride motto and our professionalism, responsibility, inclusivity, dignity, and engagement, the expected behaviors that we want out of our students. And then we have to implement these procedures and teach the expected behaviors. And we'll talk more about that, but that's basically our monthly PBIS PAWS Tier 1 lessons that we do. And then to differentiate supports for a continuum of procedures for encouraging expected behaviors, to differentiate supports to discourage inappropriate behaviors, and then to implement procedures for ongoing monitoring and evaluation. These latter steps are kind of our future goals here with PBIS, specifically our culture and climate team, but then also from a school lens is, what are we doing when students, we taught them the behaviors and they're still not getting it? And that next RTI model is kind of in our future plans. So here at Cascade High School, we've built off of a school of pride. We did this in our year 0 work as a PBIS team. We got your feedback, we got student feedback, we got community feedback for that matter, and we built our matrix. These are the expected behaviors that we want to see out of our students, and we played off of school of pride so that we never as a school have to tell students PBIS or even use that acronym. Everything is about pride. And so here we have some common language that we use throughout every classroom and every school setting, and it helps us stay uniform, it helps us stay central in our message around expectations, and it helps students kind of hear it over and over and over again, 10 and 10, you know, off, off, and away, these types of phrases that we're doing to promote a positive culture. The best way to get your mind around PBIS is teach, model, cue, reinforce. It's a 4-step process towards teaching behavioral expectations. And most schools around the country have some sort of quick 3 to 5 behavioral expectations that are around their school that is the bedrock of PBIS, right? Most schools have something around safety, responsibility, or respectfulness. These are designed to be teachable. They're designed to be stated in the positive rather than rules, rather than these are things not to do, right? They're stated in the positive, like these are the things we want to see out of students. And they're designed to be memorable, something that students can articulate back to you. And we know as we have gone through year 1 and we're building into year 2, we need to do a better job of that branding, of that putting it out there in front of students, and of keeping it alive within the school. But the banners are around, and we know that we're a school of pride and that we've got our professionalism, responsibility, inclusivity, dignity, and engagement as the behavior expectations we want out of all of our students. The way that we teach these behaviors here at Cascade High School, that PBIS, that Culture and Climate team, one of the big bedrocks that they engage in is creating those Tier 1 lessons for us to use all throughout the school. During our pause classes that I've been emailing this year to you guys, that we also put on our website, so they're public, anybody can get to them. And they're designed to be sort of universal in appearance. You'll always see the PowerPoint, School of Pride PowerPoint with our PBIS mantra of teach, model, cue, reinforce. They usually have some sort of video or multimedia approach to it, and then tied back to the matrix, and something that the teacher can then discuss with their pause class about behavior. And the idea is that if we're all doing it system-wide all throughout the school, then the students are getting that same message. Now this is something we clearly need to work on as we go into year 2, and we're also in kind of working with leadership and other activities that are happening in the school to kind of streamline, right? Like, why couldn't moving forward these things be tied to the Bruin broadcast, for example? And those are things that we're exploring and we're hoping to build off for year 2. The model, teach, model, cue, reinforce. This is where schools need to show examples of behaviors and non-behaviors, and we do that. We did that in our School of Pride Day with our video, The Wrong Way, where thank you for staff for being silly and engaging with us in some of the behaviors we don't want to see. But it's really important for students to be taught what behaviors are, but then to be shown what they're not. And I think that that's a really important piece that we just need to keep coming back to as well. Cueing behaviors with verbal or visual prompting is really important. So some of the things that we do around here, right, is the students come in right to class, they want to go to the restroom, but we say, oh, sorry, 10 and 10, and they know right away, okay, I understand, I can't go to the restroom until 10 minutes, or, you know, you come in with your headphones in and teacher says off, off, and away, instead of having to, you know, say, hey, take your headphones off. These are types of cueing of the behavior expectations that we want to see. And then, of course, reinforcing student behavior expectations. We have a B. Bruin incentives program here that we put into place that we're going to make stronger into next year. But we really need to be mindful that regardless of age, including adults for that matter, receiving incentives for behavior expectations is important. And without external motivation and reward, you will never get to internal or intrinsic motivation. Brain science has taught us that. So the reinforcing of student behavior, it's not about the prize at all. It's not about the thing that they get. It's about the effort that an adult has made to acknowledge with a student, demonstrating the right behavior, the behavior that we want to see. In the classroom setting, PBIS is also designed to help improve relationships, make positive sort of the interactions between student to student, but also student to teacher. And as a culture and climate team, one of our goals to strengthen moving forward is to provide teachers with tips around classroom management to build those positive relationships, whether they're procedural strategies or relationship strategies, just ways that we can help increase your awareness of PBIS and a positive classroom. 5 to 1 is a really good way to remember how to do that. It's a magic ratio. I think it's stemmed from sort of marriage science or interpersonal relationship science. The more positive comments you make, the better the relationship is. And really, if you strive for a 5 to 1 as a teacher, you're in good hands, right? Disappointed not everybody has their materials today. Instead, thank you so-and-so for having your notebook out. I almost see that we're at 100% participation. Those types of positive phrases of student behavior. And then another important PBIS thing to remember is that it is about relationships in the classroom, and it's about relationships that we build school-wide, and that we have to establish them, maintain them, and then at times behavior is something that that students are still learning, and they will make mistakes, and they will hurt the relationship often between other students, but with the other teachers as well. And we have to remember that they're youth and that we need to restore those relationships as well. And that's an important component to PBIS that is often overlooked, is that restoring of relationship. And because teachers are the adult and adult to student relationships are not equal, it behooves us to remember that and to be the ones that are out there to teach and to be proactive in restoring those relationships, because again, the power and the privilege lies with the adult. So now our culture and climate team here currently includes myself, Ms. Jackson, Ms. Gomes, Ms. Kafalis, Mr. Rainey, Clark, Pershing, Brierly, McMenemy, Rogers. We have student reps from the GSA Gay Straight Alliance Club, and also some natural leaders parents who have shown up to our meetings as well. But our mission is to keep the School of Pride going, to keep it alive, to change and improve the climate of our school in conjunction with leadership, ASB, Link Crew that we're starting up, and all these other great programs that we have. It's really just to tie it all together. To create these Tier 1 Pride monthly lessons so that we can have universal common language throughout the school, and to really kind of reinforce that teach, model, cue, reinforce mindset when it comes to PBIS culture. We also are aware that it takes high schools up to 5 years before it can effectively implement a school-wide PBIS mindset, so or success. So we are on the path. We're not at the end goal yet, but we're working towards there, and with your feedback and with student feedback, we're getting better and better at building that climate. So our next steps is to take that feedback and to improve it into a Year 2 improvement plan. We're seeking some student feedback currently. We're designing and aligning a rebranding and Pride message with Link Crew and ASB. We're going to continue to strengthen our Tier 1 Pride lessons for PAWS. And then we're going to start partnering with other groups within the school on the RTI model for Tier 2 and Tier 3 students. Basically asking, if we teach the students the behavior expectations, but they still aren't getting it and there's still behavior concerns, what do we do? And more info on that is coming. So thank you for taking the time to get acquainted back with PBIS and this Review 101. I hope you have a good rest of your day.